out there living in 2025 Kenya and you're looking for a small car for a hustle, ama umechuja job juzi, so you're tight on a budget and you're looking for something that is so friendly on the pocket in terms of fuel consumption, ama ni baby guy unatafuta tu kagari kadogo ya kuishianga nao job na kutokea form, na utaki kuinasumbua, utaki kufunikwa na mamex, yeah? Well, I'm Eddie Masharia and I got you covered. So what if I told you that instead of going for those really tiny kadudus, that is the 650cc kind used by the Uber guys, that really offer nothing in terms of space and comfort, your answer lies in a 1300cc car. That is the Mazda Demio and Toyota Vitz kind. Anyone looking for such a car, that is a 1300cc kind, anatafuta vitu tatu, and one is affordability. Yeah? So the initial cost of buying the car should be as budget friendly as possible for someone on a tight budget. Yeah? And number two is low fuel consumption. Yani unatafuta kitu neka 300 unaenda job na unarudi kijani. Something that does an upwards of 15 kilometers to the liter. Yeah? And number three is reliability. So you have no money to spend on mechanics each and every day. So you want something yenye ukishafanya service uko na peace of mind, inaweza enda some few months before upatane na mechanic. Yeah? So here are top 5 best 1300cc cars that tick all those 3 boxes. Yeah. So vehicle number 1 on the list is a good old Toyota Vitz, and I don't think there's any car to do that is a tiny car that has a solid reputation as the Toyota Vitz on the Kenyan market. Yeah. The Vitz has been around since the early 2000s. That is over 20 years of faithful service on Kenyan roads. Yeah. So whether you get it as the normal Vitz, the Jewela, or even the Yaris, remember older versions of the Vitz were still also referred to as the Yaris in other markets, until the Yaris became like a proper race-oriented vehicle. Yeah. The Toyota Vitz comes with 2 main engine options. That is a 1000cc tinier engine and the more powerful 1300cc engine, that is the 2NZ-FE. So the 2NZ is also the same engine found on vehicles like the Toyota NZD, that is the 1300cc option. The Pro Box ukipatikiwa 1300cc itakuja na the 2NZ, pia Belta and Plus. Yeah. So the Plus is also like a Vitz. So kama unataka the salute version of the Vitz, chukua 2 Plus. So in terms of affordability, you can get a Toyota Vitz from as low as 300k Kenya shillings, that is for the Gen 1 Vitz, to as high as 1.3 million Kenya shillings, or even 1.4 for the latest models. Yeah. So but if you're on a tight budget, you can stick to the Gen 1, Gen 2 up to Gen 3 there, and itakuwa around 650 or 700k Kenya shillings. Yeah. Vehicle number 2 is the Mazda Demio, and what I'm talking about is the 1.3 liter petrol engine version of the Mazda Demio. And especially if you are someone on a tight budget, just go for the second gen Mazda Demio, which is a really nice car that is more fun to drive, more spacious, more comfort than the Toyota Vitz. Yeah. So the second gen Mazda Demio has been around for like 10 years on Kenyan roads, na haijakuwa na zile serious problems, sijui unasikianga gari fulani inaharibu water pumps, sijui imefanya nini. It's a really nice small hatchback. Yeah. So when it comes to the budget, that is in terms of pricing, utazipata for even as low as 500k Kenya shillings. Yeah. And if you are on a tight budget, you can go for the generation 1 of the Mazda Demio. That is the boxy one. Before sasa ikuja hizi makavi ones. The boxy one, you can get them for as low as 300k Kenya shillings. Yeah. And if you are looking for the more modern Mazda Demios, you have to cough out around 800k, 900, and up to 1.4 million for the newest versions. Yeah, that is ex-Japan units. So vehicle number 3 on the list of reliable 1300cc cars is the Honda Fit. Yeah, that is a good old Honda Fit. Yeah, so the Honda Fit is a really nice and easy to maintain vehicle. So if you are going for the older versions, that is from 2011, yeah, thereof, just pick the non-hybrid version because you don't want to find yourself replacing that battery. Yeah, but kama uko na a higher budget, yeah, you can go for the hybrid version of the Honda Fit. Yeah, which gives you an ultimate fuel economy. Yeah, so hapo unaweza gonga up to 25 kilometers to the liter on the hybrid versions of the Honda Fit. Yeah, na pia if you're a family guy, there is a really nice option on the 1300cc Honda Fit. Yeah, so you can have the Honda Fit Chateau, which is more roomier, more spacious. Yeah, it is a wagon version of the Honda Fit. Basically ni tu Honda Fit on steroids. Hata si steroids, wacha tuseme Honda Fit on a better platform, yeah. So unapata the wagon version, that is a Honda Fit Chateau, has more room than the normal Honda Fit, yeah. But still also the normal Honda Fit is more roomier than the Toyota Vitz. So hapa sasa ndio wewe uangalie what are you looking for, space, reliability and everything, yeah. You have a lot of options. So for space on those cars that you mentioned, I think the Honda Fit ina win in terms of interior space. Najua ikai ukiangalia nje, but if you get into that vehicle uta realize it's more spacious than the Toyota Vitz, yeah. Vehicle number 4 on the list is the Suzuki Swift, and this is the sportiest of the above mentioned 3 other hatchbacks, yeah. So, but point to note though, the Suzuki Swift is the more cramped up version of all those hatchbacks, eh. So hapa kwa legroom, especially on the rear seat, iko chini sana. So but in a drawback to the choice and preferences, yeah. So kama wewe ni kijana, mbona uende Vitz na kuna Swift? Just take the Swift, it will be more fun, especially part of the manual version, which is a driver's car, really nice driver's car. Just take it, yeah. Na pia kama uko na budget fit, you can go for the hard trims of the Suzuki Swift kama akina RS. Of course hizo si 1300cc, but they are more sporty, especially the Suzuki Swift RS. Hiyo gari iko sawa, that hatchback is fine. So kama uwezi fika budget ya kina Volkswagen Golf, you can stick to the Suzuki Swift, yeah. So modern versions of the Suzuki Swift, that is recent generations, kuna even a better engine. Of course I know hisi 1300cc, that is the 1000cc booster jet turbo engine yenye iko na more power than even the 1300cc previously found on the Suzuki Swift, yeah. So hapa ukifika bei vizuri, you can take the 1000cc turbo version. Na pia fuel consumption si mbaya, so si ati kumaanisha iko na turbo itakuwa mbaya. In fact hata nasikia it's better than the 1300cc version of the Suzuki Swift, yeah. In terms of budget pia, the Suzuki Swift is not that highly priced, so unless you're buying the recent generation, but hapa tulisema ni ya watu wako na tight budget, so you're sticking to the like Gen 1, Gen 2 there, Suzuki Swift ama Gen 3 at most, yeah. So hizo from 500, 700k, you have a really clean car, yeah. So last on the list is a nice car known as the Toyota Belta. So the Toyota Belta is a modern version of the Toyota Platz, and as you know, these cars are like the saloon versions of the Vitz. So drivetrain, gearbox, kila kitu utapata ni the same as Vitz. So the reliability of the Vitz pia utaipata kwa Belta, and also it comes with the same variations of engines. So kuna the 1300cc, which is more preferable of course because of weight horsepower ratio. So na pia kuna wenye sasa wanafeel ni kama wako press sana, wanaweza chukua the 1000cc, but I wouldn't advise the 1000cc. So uta realize kwa accelerations, especially ukijaribu ku overtake, ukienda kuipush kwa milima, 1000cc ita struggle, but the 1300cc Belta will do just fine, yeah. But in terms of budget, Belta is not as cheap as compared to those 3 other hatchbacks, yeah. Sijui ama ni juu ni saloon, but you could go for it if you are looking for a more like practical 1300cc vehicle on the Kenyan market currently, yeah. So in terms of oil consumption pia si mbaya. So from what I've heard, the Belta ukiendesha vizuri utaweza gonga up to 17 kilometers huko to the liter, yeah. So it's a nice car and a reliable car, easy to live with, easy to maintain vehicle. So si gari itasumbua, yeah. So kaa kuna any 1300cc car I've left behind na mna feel inafaa kuwa kwa hii list, just mention it and we start a conversation hapo kwa comment section, yeah. And please ensure you buy a clean car, especially be careful and vigilant ukinunua used car on the Kenyan market. And I would advise squeeze kuna ma pre-purchase inspection, so usikuwe mstingy, seek the services of the pre-purchase inspectors, yeah. So hapo ndio wanaweza kudiscoveria vitu kama gari imekuwa involved kwa accident, engine is crap ama gearbox imeenda and such things. So you don't end up suffering, unaanza kusema oh ninunua Vitz, mkisema Vitz ni rabo sana na imenionyesha maneno imekaribisha town, yeah. So thanks for watching.